All right. This is a simple version of the API that I was talking about. So this Center for Digital Humanities.github.io /rerum is right now where this is at. And we've been aggregating some of these little tools to test incoming manifests because we don't generate a lot of manifests, scholarly manifests ourselves, but we want to use as many of the different kinds of objects as we can. So we've got a couple of tools in there for creating different manifests, but we're going to deprecate those in favor of some of the tools that we've seen demoed in these areas. But what we hope to add to that is a way to save those new manifests that have been created or the updated versions of other manifests for which you're not the owner, and offer up Rerum as the open public annotation store where you can do that. So the screen I have up right now is a thing that we use just to read things out of TPen, and I've edited it a little bit so that we can get things out of a lot of places. So in this case, this is an example of a TPen manifest, the one that Brian just showed, except I'm not logged into TPen, so I don't actually have authorization to see any of the images, and I can't get it through this fortunately with the authorization API. I could be providing a login at this point, but if I'll go over here and log into TPen, now we're going to see if this works, right? Blow it up, put it back in. There we go. So we have the images, and this is not as complex as the Mirador viewer, but it gives us a basic sense of what's going on in our transcription, and we can see our manifest and know that we're actually putting out a real IIIF object versus something that just isn't going to work when other people try to bring it into something like Mirador. And this is a way of sort of skirting the idea that there's so many different Mirador instances out there, and most of them right now don't support things like these annotations to be able to read through in a transcription way. So the other samples that we have in here, broken books, which Brian has demoed before. This is the Langatok breviary. These images are here, but the annotations that are on them are not transcription. They're all custom annotations, mostly which are describing and contributing metadata, which is a way which we see Rerum really growing. That metadata property on manifests and possibly on canvases is great, but not if you don't own that manifest. So this would be the way in which you would add annotations to things beyond that. And then the e-codices, you have to have somebody else's manifest. So this is here. We can load their images remotely. We have their description up here that we can actually swap through some of the languages. And then I've also included the IIIF universe. I just did this yesterday, and so there's quite a few places in here where we get an error with the Stanford ones, for example, because it doesn't have a CORS header on it. That's accepted through here, even though I can get the manifest in the browser separately. Some of the other ones are very nested. Should have planned this one out a little. So the Bodleian has some labels that are so long that it runs all the way off the right-hand side of the page. The labels upwards of, I think, 1,000 characters. But when you load it up here, you'll get a much more reasonable looking manifest. You can click load it, and again, you have a new remote thing that comes in with the metadata that they've attached to the manifest itself. You have the images below, and in this case, they don't have any on-canvas annotations, so there's not anything new to look at. So we're hoping to proliferate some of these tools as ways of driving people towards the Rerum Public Annotation Store, which, God willing, wind at our backs, we'll have before the Vatican. So we'll be able to put that out generally to the public this summer. Thanks.